Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. We hope you enjoy it. Today's story comes out of the Bible Stories for Children book, as retold by Jeffrey Horn and Arthur Kavanaugh. Today's story is called Leah and Rachel. Jacob continued on his journey to Haran. One day he met some shepherds. "Where are you from?" he asked. "We are men of Haran," they answered. "Do you know Laban?" asked Jacob. "We do," said the men. "His daughter Rachel is coming now to water the flocks." Jacob was happy to see his cousin Rachel and greeted her with a kiss. When he told her who he was, she ran to tell her father, and soon Laban came to greet his nephew and invite him to stay at his home. Now Laban also had an older daughter, Leah. Leah was plain, but Rachel was a beautiful girl, slender and graceful, and Jacob loved her. After Jacob had lived with his uncle a month, helping him run the household, Laban said to Jacob, "Even though you are part of our family, you should be paid for your work. What can I give you?" So Jacob answered, "I shall work for you for 7 years if I may marry your daughter Rachel." "I would rather she married to you than any other man," Laban said. "Stay here and work for me." Jacob worked hard for his uncle, but the years seemed like days to him because of his love for Rachel. When the 7 years were over, Laban held a great feast to celebrate the wedding. After sunset, Laban brought his daughter to Jacob's tent. Joyfully, Jacob embraced his new wife in the darkness of their wedding night. It was not until morning, when the sun came up, that he realized the woman sleeping next to him was Leah, not Rachel. "What have you done to me?" Jacob asked Laban. "For 7 years I have served you so that I could marry Rachel. Why did you trick me?" "In our country, it is the custom that the oldest daughter must marry first," said Laban. "But if you work for me for another 7 years, you can also marry Rachel." Jacob, who loved Rachel more than Leah, agreed. And so for the next 7 years, Jacob lived with his 2 wives, working for Laban. Seeing that Leah was unloved by Jacob, God blessed her with many fine children. But Rachel had no children until she and Jacob had been married a long time. Now Jacob worked for Laban for 20 years and became a wealthy man. And because of Jacob's hard work, Laban became rich too. But Laban's sons were jealous of Jacob, and Laban was not as pleased with him as he once was. And so the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your birth, and I shall help you." Knowing that his uncle would not willingly let him go, but that God would help him, Jacob gathered his family and all he had and fled from Haran without telling Laban. But 3 days later, Laban learned that Jacob and his family were gone and set out after them. Riding quickly, he soon reached the place where Jacob had pitched his tents. "Why did you run away?" Laban asked. "You left like thieves, not even letting me kiss my own children goodbye." "I was afraid you would take your daughters away from me," Jacob answered. "For 20 years I have worked for you and turned over to you the fruits of my labor. But even now, if God were not with me, you would have sent me away empty-handed." And Laban answered, "These are my children and my grandchildren, and all these flocks are mine. But what can I do about that now? Come, let there be peace between us, and we will each return to our homes." So Jacob and Laban finally made peace and broke bread together. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his daughters and his grandchildren goodbye and blessed them. Then he departed for Haran, and Jacob set out for his home in Canaan. That's it for today. See you next time.